and you hear Tommy Gage and Hardcore Harry going, okay, so he said it was a no DQ, but he disqualified Hadley for Ross. Like, they're trying to piece together what was going on. That was like the funniest part ever. Like, I watched that back, and that just made me laugh. But anyway, so Brandon's in the ring pacing back and forth. He doesn't know what to do. And he's like, well, it was no DQ, so I can't necessarily disqualify Jeremy Hadley. So he gives me the title back. And I begrudgingly take it. I'm just like, and Kenneth brings up, he's like, well, then the match never ended. And I'm just like, well, that's nice. And Brandon's like, he gets out of the ring, he says to restart the match. So Cage Stevens was the referee. And I tell him, I'm like, tell KJ, turn around, or when he turns around, I'm hitting him with the title, I'm covering him. I just want to get out of there. And KJ then goes over to Brandon, and I'll be honest, I think Kenneth James probably took advantage of the situation, and I'm not mad. And he asks Brandon something, and he comes back, Cage Stevens goes over to me and goes, KJ said turn your back, I'll roll you up. And this should show anybody who has ever thought we have egos, who has ever thought, oh, they don't like to do jobs or anything like that. This should tell you how much that is untrue. I had the choice there to just take a roll up. Instead, I looked at Cage, I said, screw that. I go, if he's beating me, he's beating me with the clover leaf. Tell him I'll charge him, I'll submit. Boom, they rang the bell. I charged at him with everything I had. I mean, it looked so intense because I was that angry. He sweep my feet, clover leaf, I tap out, you pull me out, and I just remember this. You pull me out, we immediately go to the back. And Papa stops us, and he's like, guys, what's the problem? And I'm like, he made it a no DQ, then he DQ'd me. I was like, well, and then he, it's like, I don't get what's going on. We had the finish perfectly planned, and I'm going off. And then we hear Brandon's beautiful voice say, Hadley Ross, can you come to the ring? I just remember me going, what the fuck does he want now? Like, I was just so angry. And I remember going to the ring and getting in, and he goes, on February 28th or whatever, and I was like, I will be there. Like, I seriously at that point was not going to. I was just going to walk out. So we go to the back, and I remember you did most of the talking back there.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't even remember really what was said. I'm the kind of person, and anyone that knows me can attest to this. If I get on a tangent about being mad about something, I can just run on and on. I guess our mother raised a debaters. Someone people love to argue because that's what we do. Freaking we're talkers. That's what we do. And I remember, Hadley going off in this and this. And I remember it was so bad, the match was so freaking, such chaos that night that even Cage Stevens, the ref for their match, he was mad. He was freaking going off on a tangent because, he couldn't believe he was freaking part of something that was so crazy, And then it's the referee. A referee was mad, And he was freaking throwing tangents and freaking throwing
shirt across the locker room. He was angry.
And like I said, I don't remember exactly what was said. All I do is remember laying in and, for the most part, Hadley, I think I did most of the talking. Hadley chimed in, this and that, because, I was just freaking,
And that's the thing is, in the beginning, yeah, we were both like, I remember you, like, we got taken to the back room by them, and like, you started going off, and I remember you making reference to me doing the Red Ranger and how I did that, and Brandon's like, we never forced him to do that, and I was like, no, but I'm a soldier here. I was like, you give me orders, I'm gonna follow them. And I remember going off, but I remember that's how it started.
Yeah.
And this thing went on for like 45 minutes at least. I mean, that's how it seemed anyway. By the end of it though, we were just like, we'll do the February show and then we'll put our careers online or whatever, and then we'll just take some time off, we're done, maybe we'll come back, maybe we won't. I mean, we ended things amicably, but like, we the next month, that show that I thought I wouldn't make it to, we did a Fatal 4-Way with me, him, KJ, and Brett Havoc, and the funny thing about it was, I remember getting pulled aside by Brandon earlier in the day. And like I said, there's no heat with us and Brandon anymore, like I said, it was just
it's just a fun story to tell.
Yeah, and I love this part though. I remember, he pulls us aside, and he says, guys, I rewatched the tape, and I went back and watched the tape, and I realized that it was my fault. And I'm thinking, you had to watch the tape to realize it was your fault. You're the one that made the no DQ match and the DQ stipulation. You're the one that called for the bell to ring. You're the one that made the announcement. I mean, I figured it out there in the ring. You know, and that always made me laugh. But we went out there, and I believe, I don't know if you tapped out. I know I did. I tapped out to a cloverleaf crossface combination. Yeah. But I mean, we went out there, and I remember the funny thing about that night was that was like the only time I've ever seen Bret Havoc slip on a springboard. Yeah. Like I've never seen it happen. And then that night he went to spring in to do something, and he slipped off, and I'm like, that's not good.
Like I said, it's more just a fun story to tell. I mean, you know, to this day, you know, Brandon Poffo, you know, helped us out in a bind just a few weeks ago when our concession people pulled out at the last minute and didn't give us any notice. We'll get to that in a little while too. You know, and you know, they're nice guys. Overall, in the end, when you put pro wrestling aside, differences in philosophies and all that stuff, at the end of the day, they're good guys, you know.
Yeah.
Still talk to Poff on a regular basis. You know, Brandon's a nice guy, cool guy, and all that stuff. So, like I said, I mean, there's a Monticello Screwjob all in a nutshell, and I hope you entertain. You know, we're entertained. I was. I mean, I laughed it off. So, you know, like I said, good times. Good times.
Yeah, it was.